Take us out of the conference here
Well,
after
there's
this one.
that. Yes, and but for all the right reasons.
I'll
Thank
just
God.
turn the lights off.
Right. All right, we're gonna have a great conversation here. If you guys would, real quick, self-introduction, name, who you're with, what you do.
Sure, and we're honored here to be the last ones. I am Mike Liggett. I'm the owner of Aerial Ethos in Portland, Oregon.
Yep.
And we do lots of aerial LiDAR, photogrammetry, terrestrial LiDAR,
Nice.
GIS work, and primarily working in the architecture engineering space. Work with civil engineers, surveyors. Come from a big construction background, 26 years in commercial construction. So I bring a lot of that to the table when I'm sitting down with
for sure.
surveyors and architects.
That's a great background to have for what you're doing now, for sure. Good.
Yeah, and I'm Scott Harrigan. I'm the owner of Harkin Aerial, and I'm on the other coast. I'm on Long Island, around the New York City area.
Yeah.
And very similar story on the what we do,
Nice.
drone, terrestrial, LiDAR, all of that. But my background was as a mechanical engineer.
Oh, mechanical. Okay.
Yeah, originally tried to sell drones to my firm, and it was like 2016, and they were into it, but I was more into it, so split off to run my own firm. And most of my clients are surveyors, civil engineers, architects.
Okay. Nice. So how did you guys connect?
Who wants to start?
Well, I mean, so Scott was at one point, I don't, maybe you were, he was at Virtual Surveyor, if you guys are familiar with
Yep.
So I use their platform, and Scott was working there, and every time I called, I just had some really deep questions. He's like, you want to do what with it? And you want to, because I've always had this niche for like taking a piece of software and doing something with it that maybe they didn't intend to do with it because that's just
pushing
the way
limits,
my brain
right?
works. Yeah. And Scott, so we always had these really deep, engaging conversations about that. So after he left, I continued to reach out to him, and every time we would connect, we just had so much to talk about. Everything related to the industry. We're like, hey, we should, maybe we'll get to this, but we should start a podcast. And you guys, frankly, were, an inspiration for that. But that was kind of the impetus for it. And Scott, I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, Mike was asking the right questions, and credit to my, to my old team at Virtual Surveyor, who was like, okay, not only a question about the software, but he's asking the right questions, like interesting stuff about, you're almost asking more the business side of it as much as the technical side of like, what do you normally see? What are people using it for? And we just stayed a ton in touch. And after that, I forget how we first started chatting afterwards. We probably never stopped. I feel like we're just talking back and forth right through it. And then I was like, hey, I'm actually back, my own drone firm. So we should start talking way more. And it's cool. We really like the West Coast, East Coast shared vibe here, because we kind of just share like war stories from, okay, this is what flying New York City is like, and then this is what flying around Portland is like.
And we've actually found opportunities to work together too. So I've hired Scott to do work for me, and vice versa.
So cool.
So we're actually, trying to combine forces to broaden our impact, because I think we both kind of smaller firms, but punch above our weight. So I think combine that together, and I think we could be pretty potent in the space. So that's been kind of fun. We actually, interestingly enough, we've spent hundreds of hours, Scott, talking virtually, and we hadn't met until just
this was the very
day.
first time we actually visited that.
That's
2
amazing.
days ago.
No kidding. That's crazy.
No one ran away. I thought he was going to be like, I don't know, man.
But we had a great conversation yesterday. We had some time to peel away, sit down, and just brainstorm around some things, and things that we've been successful on together, like cultural preservation, architecture, stabilization. Like, we both have a pretty impressive portfolio of projects that we've modeled and laser scanned, and so we're thinking about, hey, maybe we can continue to grow up on that too. So and those projects are a little more unique, I would say.
Well, expand on that a little bit. You guys have similar client bases, so you do similar type of work. What's the temperature now for architects and civil engineers on getting a LiDAR data and scan data? Like, what are they reaching out to you for in the beginning?
Usually it's topographic, when they have a challenging site, and they don't want to walk the entire site. And so, typically for me, when it's on the civil side and survey side, it's for topographic work. So I, obviously work very closely with the surveyors on that, and tie into control networks and those types of things. So I would say that's the initial request on the front end.
And I think to add to that too, yes. And what I'm seeing more and more of is an architect will say, I know what a point cloud is. That's what's interesting, right?
And you're like, ding, ding, ding.
Which is wild. I think it used to be a much heavier, we scan, we do the point clouds, we'll do CAD floor plans, all that jazz. But they're starting to say, no, like I know there's software we can look at a point cloud online and look at the photos and do an inspection. So it's like they've already they've already painted ahead the road,
Okay,
and so
nice.
it's gotten easier. It's way easier than it used to be to actually get these folks what they want.
Oh, now would you say they are starting to know what they want more?
Better, yeah. Still, there's still plenty of hand holding, right?
Okay.
What a point cloud can do, and like the
Right.
resolution, all
Okay.
that's still a story. But yes, I think it's a little more like they're ordering off the menu, but they're like, all right, I know what the entrees look like.
got it,
Like,
yeah.
they're not just like, what's good?
Yeah.
Well, and if you look at
Interesting.
the theme of the conference here too, like I mean, it's I don't know how like percentage wise, it's all about LiDAR. It's all about point clouds and
No doubt.
what to do. And ultimately, I don't think people still really want to interact with the point cloud that much, except for us nerds. I think
Right.
they want what the point cloud ultimately gives them,
Sure.
and that's surfaces for civil 3D or
Sure.
some of the vector work and things like that. So
Right. So speaking of the conference, what have you guys seen that are has kind of made you think differently maybe?
I'll just say I tried to do a little of like what I know and then a little of what I've never seen before. And what I've never seen before is I've never seen like a VXL imaging system up close. And I was just like blown away by what manned aircraft can do now. And so I was just actually spent way more time at that booth than I expected, because I'm not, we do drones and all that, but I was just absolutely blown away by the resolution and the LiDAR systems they're getting on the manned aircraft side.
Yeah, I mean, at what point is that going to, supersede drones?
Right.
I think there's still just the deployment of it. It's still a heavier lift to do that, but I think the democratization of the drones is still pretty compelling.
And the project size is going to go down to where manned is going to make more sense, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I think so. And it's a trade-off. It's the line is blurred more than ever before.
Sure, yeah.
You bring up a great point there, because I used to say like there was a time where it's like 1,000 acres of drone. No, absolutely not. And I'm still like probably a manned aircraft, but I've warmed up to it. I've seen successful thousands of acre projects done. We're just talking about that with pretty affordable systems all in all, and I'm kind of, my mind's changing a little bit on that. But.
Well, it's like the initial approach is changing. So in my experience, it's I don't know anything still, so it's always ask the question. Like you can't assume, this is this size of project or this type of project. This is the tool I need. I don't know anymore. It's always all right. What makes the most sense? And you ask somebody, right?
Or what is that person using that you want to partner up with on that project?
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes it's like, well, it might take me 5 days with the drone, but hey, it works for this project.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I can get it out next week.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
it's
great
that
point.
weather's coming. And snow has been our enemy this year in New York. So I'm just waiting for it to melt and we had a lot of projects we had to slip in before the weather came.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We have the opposite problem on the West Coast.
I
We
know,
don't have any
exactly.
snow. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the podcast a little bit. What's it called and how did it come about?
Site and scene, like job site, and in a scene, so SEENE, so Site and Scene podcast.
Love it.
And we started wanting to focus on the tools and the technology and the workflows that are deployed in our industry. And again, you guys were definitely inspiration of in a lot of ways. And it was kind of interesting because as we got into it, we have one season under our belt, and we have north of 1,000 downloads. So it's not too shabby for getting up. But we matured throughout the season, I think, and we started getting guests in the studio, and we had some really, I would say, some heavy hitters on the show, like the lead scientist for the Nature Conservancy over the Caribbean District, and they were talking about mapping coral reef and mangroves and after the hurricane. So. We had some really fun guests. So it's just been a great process for us. As you guys probably know, it's a lot of fun to get to meet people. But I want to just say one thing, Scott, I'm sure you got a lot to add too, is that, maybe after like 4 episodes, we were tiptoeing around certain subjects as it relates to like the environment. And we're both very like focused on, using our businesses for good and for environmental reasons. So like, what, we want to put more purpose and intention into that so that we, that I would say the second half of the season, we really put more of a focus towards like how the tools that we're all deploying can be used in more like environmental and sustainable ways for how they're being used for good. So, and at the time too, there was like so much news about drones flying over New Jersey and all that stuff, or just like the military connotations related to drones. We're like, we want to change that perception of it, and like here's how these tools are being used for good. And it's not just drones, so I think we try to curate that focus as well. And I think that's something unique that we're doing.
Yeah,
Well
definitely.
said.
And that broke right about when we had that interview with Stephen Schill, was the lead scientist in the Caribbean Division Nature Conservancy. And that was about the episode where like, no, this is the right, I don't know. He was just a fantastic guest. And that was where like, we think the environmental and sustainable bent makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Half my clients are environmental engineers anyway. So like, they're going to love it. It's
yeah.
like people I know are going to love it.
Yeah.
And people coming, learning new stuff are going to love it. And, it's a nice niche, it's tough to find. It's a lot of noise in the, look everything here, right? So carving out like, what's the fun bent that makes this just something you might want to listen to you hadn't heard before.
Right. So how often do you guys record a show?
We're on our soon again. I got to get my butt into gear, but we were doing about every 2 weeks when we're in the full motion there. Yeah. But, you guys got to give us tips on how to power through hundreds and hundreds of episodes.
It's a grind. You
It
just gotta
really
you
is.
just got to do it.
You just gotta do it.
I love the concept of having a season that.
I like
Instead
it.
of just continuous like we've been doing for forever.
Well, you guys get breaks too. I mean, a little bit.
No, we don't.
Not really.
Yeah.
The only time
Federal holidays.
There you go. The mandatory
Yeah,
ones.
the mandatory
paid
ones.
time off.
Yeah, paid time off, right? Which we need to renegotiate that.
That's
our own PTO policy.
Yeah.
It sounds like you guys enjoy it. I mean, that's
Oh,
for sure. Like,
it's a blast.
So, what are some of the challenges that you've faced getting a podcast off the ground?
time. I think it's really time, and oddly enough, being in Portland, it rains a lot in the winter, so we're like, I always plan to have some backup workflows in the winter, but this winter I had more revenue in January than I did my busiest month last year. So
that's what everybody
things
is
are
Everybody's
good.
saying.
Yeah, so we
It's
haven't really had a ton of time to get back into our second season as of yet, but we're planning on it. We're getting guests lined up, so I think it's the challenge wise is it's the editing on the back end of it, and just carving it out. So
right. What do you love about doing it?
It's meeting new people, right? I mean, I've now stayed very close colleagues with several of our guests there and have worked with them. It's like made new friends, made new business partners. And I didn't know if that would, I didn't go in expecting that. I was like, it's great. Yeah, we'll have guests. They come, they go, and that's it. But I'm amazed how many people have just stuck around and want to be like, I still want to touch base or just run ideas by you. So that 100%. So I keep the Rolodex, of course, of people always.
It's amazing what an hour conversation will bond somebody together, and then
absolutely.
you're lifelong friends from just an hour chat, right?
Yeah, totally agree. And for me too, I'm very similar. And then I get to spend time with my good friend Scott here.
That too, exactly.
Nice. Awesome.
Oh, and we interviewed Russ too. Russ
Well, that's going to make the show take off, but by itself.
Exactly.
So we had a great chat.
He was
awesome.
fantastic.
So what's been your big takeaway from the conference here this week?
For me, I like seeing, we talked about the density of this data. It's like, what are the tools now that are enabling us to really extract from that more efficiently? So a lot of the automatic classifications of point clouds and those things, because I've done plenty of classifying point clouds, and it's clunky at best, even with the top people. So, I think that combined with some of the AI, AI things that are coming down the pike here, I feel like that's pretty exciting for somebody who's, small business punching above their weight, like anything that we could do to help streamline some of those. So I think some of that was pretty exciting to see.
Yeah.
And what about you, Scott?
Yeah, it's the LiDAR. I mean, it's always the LiDAR, but more the fact that, again, small business punching above your weight, that I can't believe how affordable it is, and that we can get good and cheap, sort of. We're getting close. Used to be a lot of great systems, but they were extremely unattainable price-wise, and here were really lower-end systems that kind of didn't get the job done. And I feel like now this happy medium is finally coming out, where I'm like, I could grab that in a year. That's a purchase that makes sense.
Yep. That's awesome. Very good. What else you guys got?
Yeah. How do people find your podcast?
I find the easiest way. We're on LinkedIn. That's an easy way. And honestly, if you search me, Scott Harrigan, top thing on my profile there is Sight and Scene. I post it regularly. Every time we have a new episode, I throw it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and LinkedIn's good, and I think we have a link tree too, like that. We usually share that link, but it's Site SITE and Scene SEENE.
Okay.
Podcast. So
yeah, love the name. It's awesome.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah,
Good stuff.
we'll find that. And
That was Mike too. That was all Mike. I give my you take the credit for that one.
yeah,
Well,
fun though.
Yeah, anything we can do to help you guys out, be happy to do that, of course.
Awesome.
Well, maybe we can
And,
have you guys on our show.
Would love
Yeah.
to.
We would love to do
We would
that. Yeah.
absolutely do it.
I don't know how much value add we would, but
We'd have fun.
well, we'll have some
Yeah.
fun. That's right. Yeah.
That's
Well,
the goal.
Right, that is the goal indeed.
Yeah. Turn the tables on us.
Yeah, there you go.
Love it. Good. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you guys for being our last interview.
Yeah, thanks for having
Good
us.
to see you guys. Yeah.
Good to
Yeah,
see you.
excited about this year and more content you guys are pushing out. Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Safe
Thanks so much.
travels.
Awesome.
Yeah,
You too,
absolutely.
guys.
Take care.